everybody. This is Paul Cooper with Totes and Notes, and I've decided to start a new series called Note Nuggets in honor of Scott Carson and his Nuggets of Wisdom. And the first episode I'm going to start here is going to have 10 Note Nuggets, and they're going to cover things that I've either learned from the virtual note buying workshop or through Scott or other resources, but these are essential to your note business. And I'm going to cover 3 from the 3 primary functions that you're going to have in your business: finding, funding, and flipping. And then I'm going to have one bonus one at the end. So let's start. Find. To find deals, you need to let people know what you're doing. And there are a ton of ways to do this: having business cards, meeting people, just talking. Let them know what you do. And this will also help you out with funding. You've got to let them know what you're doing, why you're doing it, how it could possibly help them. If people don't know, then you're not going to find deals and you're not going to find funding. My favorite resource for finding deals has got to be LinkedIn, and this is probably my favorite resource too, besides using social networks like the We Close Note crew to find funding. I use LinkedIn almost exclusively for finding most of my deals. And the way I do that is I just reach out to people. You got to search for the correct people. You want to search for chief credit officers, special asset managers, and secondary marketing managers. These are the people that should have the stuff you need. And obviously you want to make sure that they're associated with banks. But by using this on LinkedIn, I've been able to grow my connections to a little over 10,000 since last November. And I get a lot of business through them. I contact a lot of people this way, and then I use that later on through email. And then the third way that I find deals would be using subscription services. I use Lane Guide. I use Note Pros. They have really good assets on there. Usually, Note Pros is nice because it's usually fairly up to date on contact information, but Lane Guide is great as well. There's also some other free resources like Scotsman's, which is good. And those are the main ways that I find deals. And so those are your 3 nuggets for finding deals. So let's move on to funding. Your first nugget for finding funding would be self-directed IRAs. Now these could be your own. Now if you're going to use your own, you got to be really careful. Make sure that you talk to people at Quest IRA or other specialists to make sure that you're not doing any type of illegal transaction. You want to make sure everything's arm's length. So if you're trying to start your own business, you're not going to probably want to use your own special or your self-directed IRA funds in your own business. But you can get other people, you can get friends, you can meet other people. A really good way to do that is using NetR Online, which Scott covers in detail. I do this fairly regularly. I'm about to send out a massive mail campaign probably next month. I'm in the process of finishing up our brochure and getting everything ordered. But that's a great way to find self-directed IRA investors, and then using NetR Online, you can find people that are using their self-directed IRAs to actually fund real estate deals. So that's an absolutely great way to find investors and get funding. Next way would probably be your RIA groups. Find your local real estate groups, your Meetup Groups. They're going to have people that are probably already pretty savvy, so they're not going to need you to take them completely by the hand through everything because they've done real estate transactions before. Now you're definitely gonna have to explain notes to them and explain that you're just getting paper and you're not getting the physical property in most cases, but these should generally be savvy investors, and so the barrier to entry for them should be a lot lower. And then the last way to get funding for your deals would be your own funding. Now starting off, you may not have a lot of funding, and that's okay. You can do lots of things like note assignments, you can do wholesaling. I'm not a huge fan of it. I've done it. When I do it, usually it's because the deals that I got into ended up not being as juicy as I wanted. I may be bringing more deals online to people in the WCN crew shortly because I just can't buy them all. But it is a very good strategy to get deals going and just to get some experience. So our next note nuggets are going to cover flipping, and this is kind of sexy, the exciting, the fun side of doing the deals because this is usually when everyone's getting paid. And so everyone's generally fairly excited about this, but honestly, this is probably the easiest part. Finding them and funding them is going to be the hardest part, and then coming up with a win-win solution for people is generally fairly easy if you bought correctly. So in this case, note sale is probably the number one thing. You want to get the note reperforming and then sell it off as a performing asset. It's easy, it's fairly quick. Hopefully you'll be done in a year and a half or less, and you can get a lot of that money, and this will help you keep the velocity of money going, and you'll be able to really build up some money pretty quickly. Now, one of the things that may happen with this is you may want to keep these deals, or your partner may want to buy you out. Either way, that's good, because if you're keeping it, you're not necessarily flipping it per se, but you're getting the cash flow. But let's say your JV partner wants to keep it for that cash flow. Have them buy you out of position. That's easy too. That's great. That's even less of a hassle. Then if you actually get the property, there are a bunch of things you can do. You could either sell it. If it's a potential rental, you could rent it out. I generally don't want to be in the rental business. Now, that's not being said. You can make very good money in rentals. You just don't want to turn everything into rental. Make sure that it fits what you want to do, fits your goals, that it's actually going to be profitable and not just be another headache. And a really easy thing to do is, if it looks like it'll be a decent rental but you're not interested, you don't have to renovate these places. You can sell them off as handyman specials, or sell them off to potential rentals and market it to investors. You don't necessarily have to market to the retail owner. Market it to investors. Market it as a handyman special. Reach out to groups in that area that are investors, and you'll be able to get rid of it pretty quick. And then the last one on there would probably just be you need to flip it. Like, it's just not working out. You need your money. You can sell that note to someone else. Hopefully you can get a brokerage fee or a wholesale fee. Otherwise, you may have to take a hit, but you can get out and just turn around and flip that note. So those are your 9 nuggets covering the 3 areas of finding, funding, and flipping. And then my last note nugget for you here would just be personal, and I've talked about this before. Higher education. Continue learning what you're learning. That doesn't mean go to college. Continue learning about what you want to practice. This is my second time attending a virtual note buyer workshop. I watched a replay before I attended my first one, and then I watched the replay of that one. And I'm going to watch the replay of this one since I wasn't able to attend the entire weekend since I had to work. I'm going to watch what I didn't pick up. And so that'll be 4 times then potentially between the replays and actually attending that I've gone through it. Each time I watch a replay or I attend a new class, there's something new. It's dynamic. There's always going to be something new. There's going to be a new little tip. You're going to pick up on something that you didn't pick up on the first time. Now, does that mean you need to keep reattending and going to the same workshops? Not necessarily, but you do need to stay surrounded by the people that are on the bleeding edge, and by other like-minded individuals, and you'll pick up on stuff. Anyways, I hope this was helpful for you all. You can expect me to start putting out some small, very short note nugget videos in the coming weeks covering a wide range of stuff in the note business. And I hope you have enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to me, and thanks for your time.